everybody, it's Mandy from the Leather Quill Shop. I wanted to show you guys how to replace your elastic in your Leather Quill Traveler's notebooks. We do sell the elastic replacement kits in our shop, and I'll link them down below. We have several different colors of elastic. I'm just actually replacing this with a yellow because I feel like a yellow and brown is so fall, and I am doing this video as it's snowing here in Michigan. So perhaps maybe I should do it with white. But in order to change out your elastic, you do need, obviously, a replacement elastic, a lighter, an awl, or like a pointy screwdriver or something. This just helps you to make the holes a little bit bigger if it's being a little bit stubborn. I've also seen people do this with like knitting needles, or not knitting needles, like large embroidery needles, but it's just one more thing I have to have. So I just use this, and then scissors. So one cool thing about Traveler's Notebooks is you can pretty much customize them how you see fit, and there's a couple different ways that you can do this. To keep it simple, if you have a TN that has like a neutral elastic in the middle, like a brown or a black, you don't always have to replace these bands here, these middle ones. It's not that they're a pain to change out, it's just some people get intimidated by this. So if you are that person, I would change this out to like brown or black one time, and then you can change out your exterior elastic as often as you would like, or whatever color you're feeling for the season or the month, or whatever. Whatever your vibe is. That just makes it a little bit easier. But I'm going to show you guys how to replace the interiors and the exteriors. So the first thing that you need to do is pull out your elastic. So the middle elastic just pulls straight from the middle. And then always clip your elastic as close to the knot as possible, because you can reuse this elastic either for like a middle or for, you can even put it back in, because normally there's a little bit of slack there. So you just want to feed the elastic out of the TN and then save that somewhere. So now you just have a basic, just the cover. And if you order the elastic kits from our shop, you get one elastic that is shorter, which obviously this would be for the exterior, and one larger elastic band. So to do the interior bands, what you want to do is you'll notice that the ends of these, they're a little bit frayed. So whatever end you want to use, I normally just trim that off and then take my lighter and I singe it. And this just stops the elastic from continuing to fray. So once you have that, now that's total preference. I mean, you don't have to do that. You want to start at the, so this is the front of your Traveler's Notebook. You want to have that to the left side and the back to the right side. And you want to start in the middle hole on the top and feed your elastic down through the hole. Now you want to leave your middle part about a ½ inch past the middle hole. When we cut our elastic for our replacement kits, we are very generous with that, because some people like their elastic tight and some people like it looser. When we do our leather quills, we kind of do a happy medium, and that way if somebody wants them tighter, you can always pull your knot a little bit tighter and tighten your elastic. But in this case, I'm doing this for kind of how we ship our leather quills. So once you get it through the middle, you see how it's through the back. You want to take your elastic. Now you can go to the left side or the right side. Regardless, you're going to end up in the middle at the end. However, for some reason, I always go to the left. And then you want to run your elastic through the back. When you do this, you don't want to pull it tight where you move this elastic. So just draw your elastic down. Make sure I'm still in frame here. So I put my handy dandy little washi tape strips so I know like how far I can film, because this is the second time I filmed this video. Once you come back through the left side, you want to go down to the far left hole and run your elastic through. Oops, not get around your crystal. Now you don't want to, if you like your elastic tight, you know, go ahead and pull on this pretty tightly. If you don't like your elastic light or tight, if you like it kind of just taut, just pull it to where it is just laying flat, but it's not pulling at the corners of the notebook cover. Now, once you've run this through this left bottom hole, you want to come back up through the back middle hole and pull that through. So essentially you've made kind of like a C, right? Pull that down. Now your awl is going to come in handy when you need to make these holes slightly bigger to run your elastic through. Sometimes with these smaller holes on the side, you have to make them a little bit bigger. This one, I've actually been very blessed that I haven't had to use it until now. So go ahead and with an awl or a screwdriver, make that middle hole just a tiny bit bigger so you have enough room to feed your elastic through, but you don't want to rip the leather or stretch it out. You just want to make it a tiny bit bigger. Okay, so once you get your elastic fed through, pull it tight. Now, again, you want to make your elastic tight enough where, you know, it's a little forgiving, but it's not so tight that it makes your TN do like this. If you have made your elastic too tight, you can just pull it back to give it a little bit more room to adjust it how you want. So once you went back through the middle and the top, so you're back at the top with your elastic running out the front, you want to pull it back over to the right hand side. I'm just using my awl just to make that hole just a little bit bigger, because honestly I'm tired of struggling with it. And then pull it back through the top. Now this bottom hole down here, run it back down. So you're basically, I gotta use my awl a little bit. It's being a little tricky. You're basically just feeding it through. And once you do this a few times, you'll get the hang of it. Again, you don't want to make your elastic too tight so it bends at the spine. So once you come out the bottom left or bottom right hand corner, you then want to go back through this middle hole, which make your hole just a tiny bit bigger with your awl. There we go. And then just pull it back up. Now see how it's a little loose here? You can just pull your elastic a little. Again, like very, very, very gently when you pull this, because it will, like this will get tight and that'll get tight and then it'll do this. Just very, very, very gently. So I see here, I'm gonna put my knot here at this top part, and my elastic looks pretty good. If your elastic is too loose, go ahead and kind of readjust it by feeding it through and pulling on it. If it's too tight, I mean, give it a little bit more slack. You should have about 2 inches or so, maybe 2.5 inches, possibly even 3, depending on how generous we got it, of extra elastic. So now the trick to tying your elastic knot is, some makers don't care about this. We care about it. We always try to tie our knots a little bit towards the top or towards the bottom, depending on, honestly, where there's space. Never tie your knot right at the middle, because then you're gonna have your knot for your outer elastic and then a knot where this elastic meets, and it's gonna cause a little bit of bunching in your inserts. So you don't wanna do that. So I just tie my knot kind of towards the top. And when you tie your knot, don't just like reef on this and make it really tight. Hold your elastics, so you're tightening your knot, but you're not tightening your elastic. So you're gonna see there's a little bit of slack here. That's perfectly fine. I'll show you how to fix that here in a minute. So trim your elastic and singe it. When you have one that has a little bit more slack, all you have to do is like bend the spine of your TN and it'll fix itself. This one didn't. So then you just kind of pull your elastic until you get them evened out a bit. That's good. That's all you gotta do. It's just a little bit of adjusting. Now to do the middle elastic, take a look at how many books you have in. If you have a lot of books in here and you stuff your books, you're gonna wanna make sure that you tie your elastic appropriately. kind of by default, what I normally do is I fold the elastic in half so my ends are touching. So my ends are touching like that. And then I start it about a 1/2 inch from the edge. So I'll end up putting my knot about here. Now, if you like you said, if it's really chunky notebook, make sure you give yourself a little bit extra room. If it's not really chunky, you can tie your knot a little bit tighter. It just depends. What I always tell people is don't trim your elastic until you put your elastic in the traveler's notebook so you can make sure it's where you like it, because you can always untie this knot. So yep, my knot's right there. Run it through. That should be good. So in order to get this through this middle hole, you're gonna have to use your awl and make this hole a little bit bigger. But be very, very, very careful that you don't make this hole too big that your knot slides through. So then you just pinch the end of it and push that elastic through. Now in this case, it's gonna be a dream, but if that's being a bear, you can always take your awl and help to pull it out. Just pull it. That looks good. This is actually a little loose for me, but with this elastic being a little bit tighter, I think it'll be fine, because once you put your notebooks in, I think that'll be good, because then it's not going to be too tight. So I think that's good. It looks loose now, but once you get your books in, it'll be fine. If you didn't like it that loose, you can always pull this back out, retie your knot. Actually, here, I'll show you. Retie your knot just a smidgen down. Trim that off. Singe it. This helps to keep your elastic from fraying, because there's nothing more annoying on this world than when your elastic is fraying. See, that's a little bit better. That's tighter. So either way is fine. It's just your personal preference on what you like. So that is how to change your elastic in 700 easy steps. No, that's how to change your elastic easily. This is, in my opinion, it's the easiest way to do it. You can get the replacement elastic kits on our shop. I'll link them below. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm more than happy to answer them. I got my awl at Lowe's. I think it was probably about $6. This is a very handy tool. These lighters you can get just about anywhere, like any party store, dollar store, grocery store. And just your scissors. I mean, they don't have to be ones that are as loved as what mine are. Any scissors will work to cut through elastic. If you have any questions about how to run elastic through or where to get elastic, just go ahead and ask them below. I'd be more than happy to answer them. We are trying to post more YouTube videos and bring more content your guys' way. So if you wouldn't mind subscribing, that would totally be awesome. We're also looking at doing some watch parties when we release some new quick ship items. So subscribe to make sure you're part of that too. And if you have any questions, again, I'd be more than happy to answer. Have a great day.